This 14-year-old TikToker brutally murdered her disabled sister. Born in 2007, Claire Miller grew up in Pennsylvania with her parents and her older sister, who suffered from cerebral palsy. Claire had a fairly normal childhood and would spend her free time in her room posting videos on her TikTok account, with the content mainly focused on dancing, lip-syncing and anime. She quickly grew an impressive following of over 22,000 people, but this was not enough to satisfy her need for attention. Her older sister Helen was wheelchair bound and required constant care. Claire grew jealous of this, feeling that her older sister overshadowed her, and in the early hours of February 22nd, 2021, Claire snapped. She snuck into her sister's room around 1 AM, armed with a knife from the family kitchen. Claire stabbed her sister several times in the neck before placing a pillow over her face. Claire then phoned 911, telling the emergency dispatcher that she had murdered her sister. Police quickly arrived at the scene and found Claire waiting outside, covered in blood. Claire's trial is still ongoing, and if convicted, she will likely face either life imprisonment or the death sentence. This 12-year-old girl brutally murdered her entire family. Born in 1992, Jasmine Richardson grew up in Alberta, Canada with her parents and younger brother. Richardson was described as a happy and friendly girl. However, in early 2006, this would all change. While at a local punk rock concert, Richardson met 23-year-old Jeremy Steinke, and the pair quickly began dating despite the 11-year age difference. Steinke claimed to be a 300-year-old vampire and would often wear a vial of blood around his neck. This behaviour, along with the couple's vast age difference, led to Richardson's parents forbidding the couple from seeing each other. After hearing this, the pair decided that the only way they could be together was to kill Richardson's parents, and on April 23, 2006, the couple stormed the Richardson house, fatally stabbing her mother and father, before going upstairs and viciously slitting her brother's throat. The couple fled, eager to start a new life together, but were quickly captured 130 kilometers from the crime scene. Steinke was sentenced to 25 years in prison. However, Richardson was only sentenced to 10 years and was released on May 6, 2016, and continues to live as a free woman. This 11-year-old brutally murdered her best friend. Born on November 21st, 1992, Natsumi Tsuji grew up in Sasebo, Japan. Tsuji was a big fan of basketball and would often play with her best friend Satomi Matarai. Tsuji was described as happy and friendly, however in 2004 this would all change. Tsuji's mother banned her from the local basketball club, claiming that it was having a negative effect on her daughter's education. As a result, the 11-year-old began spending more and more time online, watching anime and horror films. Around this time, Tsuji and Matarai would have a huge argument, with Matarai calling Tsuji fat and pretentious. Tsuji took this very badly and began acting more aggressive, but the worst was yet to come. On June 1st, 2004, she invited Matarai to come and play a new game. Tsuji led her friend to an empty room, where she blindfolded her and cut her throat and wrists with a box cutter. Matarai was found soon after, however they were too late and the young girl died before she reached the hospital. Tsuji was quickly arrested and was sentenced to 4 years in prison before being released on May 29, 2008 to live the rest of her life as a free woman. This boy is the youngest serial killer in the world. Amarjeet Sada grew up in a poor farming town located in East India. Sada was forced to work by his father from a very young age and would spend the rest of his free time playing with his cousins and siblings in the street. In 2006, at the age of 8, driven solely by his desire to inflict pain on others, Sada would kill his first victim, his 6-year-old cousin. It's thought that Sada lured her to a field where he strangled her and beat her with a rock. A few months later, Sada would double his kill count, using a brick to beat his 8-month-old sister to death. Sada's family soon became aware of his crimes, but decided to keep it a secret to protect the young boy and his future. However, 2 kills were not enough to satisfy Sada's sadistic urges. In 2007, at the age of 9, Sada would kidnap his neighbour's 6-month-old baby while she slept, before smothering her, beating her to death, and burying her in a shallow grave. Following this, the townspeople reported him to the police, where he was quickly arrested. Once in police custody, Sada smiled and showed no remorse for his actions. He was tried and placed in a mental asylum before being released on his 18th birthday to live as a free man, with his current whereabouts unknown. This 12-year-old boy brutally murdered his grandparents. Born on April 9th, 1989, Christopher Frank Pittman grew up in South Carolina with his parents and 3 siblings. In his early years, Pittman was described as a good student and would frequently participate in local sports and church events. However, in 2001, Pittman's life would take a horrifying turn. Pittman's parents were both alcoholics and would often fight amongst themselves and with their children, resulting in them getting a divorce, with Pittman being sent to live with his grandparents. Pittman took this very badly and quickly became depressed and more aggressive, and on the night of November 28, 2001, he finally snapped. Pittman snuck into his grandparents' room while they were sleeping and viciously killed them with their own shotgun. He proceeded to set fire to their home using a candle and papers before fleeing the scene and taking his grandparents' car, $33 in cash, their guns and their dog with him. The following day, Pittman was found and arrested before being sentenced to 30 years in prison, where he remains to this day.